March 1936 has brought a lot of instability. The civil war, or the uprising of various insurgents in China, is in full swing, and the market crisis is going on as well. So we have sent, by clerical error, a couple of cavalry divisions instead of the mountain infantry that I actually wanted to send. But maybe that is a blessing in disguise. However, I think we need to make sure that that these divisions here don't. My cavalry hasn't even had time to organize themselves after being landed, because they've been thrown into the fray quite immediately. I am trying to clear out the northern insurgency, and then we can focus on the socialists in the south. But we have a chance here to encircle them, but I think I do need to make sure that my divisions here don't get cut off. So we'll try to pin these divisions for now, and they are getting reinforcements from the north. So I don't think we are going to be able to break through here. No, I'm gonna just start focusing my cavalry, start focusing my divisions onto one front line, and we'll see if we can manage to get at least a bit of an encirclement going. Has my air force arrived yet? Yes, it has indeed, and we should have. Yes, we have air superiority over the lower Yangtze, so that's a good thing. And that means, okay, let's get these pinned just at least until the cavalry has arrived from the north, to make sure that we're not getting cut off here. 9th International Congress. Socialist delegates from around the world are gathered in and around Paris for the latest congress of their movement. At the top of the agenda is the spread of revolutionary fervor, particularly in Asia and North America, conflict in Spain, policy on colonialism and requirements for membership. Okay, so that means the syndicalists, apologies by the way for the fan in the background, Kaiserreich is taxing my laptop quite a bit, and it is warm here. So the French Commune leader of the syndicalists, so they're focusing on Spain. What is the Spain is mostly does not have a large amount of syndicalist support at this point. So that looks relatively stable. Obviously here, the Mingan insurgency is very much a syndicalist uprising that we need to deal with, and they're trying to focus on America as well. America is something we're doing something about with the Prittwitz plan already. So let us try to see if we can make a little bit of a difference here and not overtax ourselves. I just need the cavalry to make their way across the river here. We're not getting there. We're not taking the capital, but maybe we can clear out the southern lines here, and we will then try to. Okay, we're attacking from two sides, but I don't think we can actually break them easily. Why are we attacking across a river? I don't see us attacking across. There's no river here. Oh no, they are attacking us actually. That's what's happening. Okay, in that case, just defend yourself, and you as well. We should be able to hold that, and we should be able to try and close the encirclement there and here. So let's see if we can make our way through the mountains. Pin these divisions here to make sure they're not getting anywhere. Okay, so the Zentrum has been traditionally a Catholic-centric party in this, dominated by the Bavarians. In Germany, Catholicism is more focused around the south. So if we look at it, so these bits down here, that's Catholics. These bits up there, that's Protestants. So historically, not the best of friends. And the problem is that the Zentrum has been sort of allied with one of each sides through the last 10 cabinets, so since forever. which means they see themselves as sort of the People's Party, the majority party, sort of. That means, however, that that now during times of instability, everybody, the people outside in the opposition are obviously blaming them for, and probably not without merit, for the troubles that are laying ahead, which means the Zentrum is thinking about reorienting. Now they can reorient in two ways. First of all, they can accept some Protestants into the Zentrum. This is, funnily enough, what the conservatives want. Because they want to expand their base. The liberal side, the left-wing side, does not want that, because they're afraid that the Protestants, which are way more conservative than the Catholics, funnily enough, will draw the center towards the right too much. So it's a very strange situation, but we can do two things. Either we can go left-wing and support the left side of the center by not letting the Protestants in, or we can expand to the Protestant areas, which pushes it more to the right. Given the current dominance of the left-wing opposition, I am going to invite the Protestants. So that's done. Otherwise, not an awful lot else is happening, except for my economy going down the drain, obviously. And we are still struggling, trying to make anything happen here in the Civil War. Okay, let's see if we can surround some of these divisions here. And nope, we cannot. In fact, it is actually useless to surround these divisions because the Chinese have just gotten themselves wiped out in the south, which means the only thing we can do now is try to cut them off here at least. So let's try from the south. The US accepts the Prittwitz plan. Great. So America is going to be our friends. Let's try to stabilize. Let's try to push towards Hangzhou. I hope that's how you pronounce this. And then we will try to clear out the northern corridor here. It would be great if we can detach the two of them. I don't know if they're working together, but let's see if we can make that happen. However, I think that at this point that is probably not a good use of my resources. I'll probably better back off from this plan and get everybody refocused on the front here. So we'll give this area up. It's not going to be of great help. We'll give it up, and we will try to cut off these divisions, clear out this region here, and then deal with that. What is this? Hang on. This is something about anti-colonialism in Middle Africa. And apparently the troops on the ground have not been conducting themselves particularly well. Not an awful lot we can do about it, so let's see. Front lines have stabilized somewhat. We managed just not to take the capital, which would have been great, but it is what it is. Now, unfortunately, we're fighting in the mountains, which is not where our cavalry shines the most, really. But we will pin... there's no need to pin this division. Okay, let's just let's cut off the other ones in the mountains. And then we will we'll regain some much needed. There we go. Some much needed organization. So these divisions should now be relatively cut off, which means that we should now be able to, once we have defended there, we should now be able to start working on wiping out these divisions here, securing that corner of China, and then we'll head north and make a push towards the capital. There are multiple... Hang on a minute. Who are you being... Who are these people? Oh, I think they're all working together in some way. Anyway, it's completely collapsed. So... can we send more volunteers, is my question. Send volunteers. Nope, volunteer for A limit of 4 is already the case. Okay, we are fighting still in the northern region, so that's where I am. Actually, we are going to be fighting in the southern region pretty soon. So, do we have an airport in the south? No. Yeah, my planes are not going to be effective in the south because I just don't have the range for it. But we are, once my divisions... Okay, what happens? Hang on, I need... this sounds good. Economic freefall ceases. Having been in freefall for the past month, the economic crisis has finally reached a modicum of stability, or at least it doesn't have much elsewhere to fall. Yes. I am down to minus 47% base stability, and things are not well. So it can't get any worse. The least stable companies and banks have gone under, and now the more durable ones compete in a shrunken, silenced environment. Investor trust is at an all-time low. So new investments are non-existent and production stagnates. And of course, millions of workers who had stable jobs last year are now on the streets, desperate for work, but companies, shaken by the financial collapse, are very hesitant to expand and employ more workers again. The initial surprise and shock in the German government has subsided, and our secretariats and ministries may begin developing solutions. The amount of work is enormous, and the state must somehow recover the economy of the empire back to its old heights, taking on challenges which may require wildly different financial strategies. The bureaucrats and officials thus eagerly await the result of the April election. Perhaps the next government will have the political capital needed for this necessary action. So, the escalation of the economic crash has ended, which is good, but I still can't do anything about it because we're still waiting for the next government, because the current government is basically blocked by the opposition. So that's happened, and a Black Monday crisis will be initiated. What? Okay, I'm not sure what this is, but we'll find out. There. I can now... select a new national focus. Have I forgotten that? I have forgotten that, haven't I? Yes. But we have banked some political power here. We can either help the Americans even more. I'm currently not really seeing the direct threat. I still can't do anything in terms of economic recovery, I think. Like, all of these focus trees are still locked. Yes, all of these focus trees are still locked. So I can either... I can no longer expand the colonial budgets. Yeah, because we are in the middle of an economic crisis. We can get closer to... try to get back closer to the Ottomans. Or we can further, or we can start building up the Ostwall. Control the economy. We can start controlling. Controlling the economy in the east. That is also interesting. We can build railways. So this goes towards Eastern security. Haven't heard anything from the Russians in a while. I think I'm going to go and try and get a bit closer to the Ottoman Empire for now. It's a quick focus, so let's get that done. Oh, this is new. Okay, hang on. I need to read and understand what's going on here. I'll be right back. So my understanding is that except China being, well, China, we have a crisis, and well, we have multiple crises, and as such, we have stagnation and economic decline. Stagnation we have to counter with investment. So the economy isn't going to recover by itself. We have to do something governmental to do something about it. And the economic decline we have to counter with stability. We have an overall economic health of -10, which puts where are our consumer goods at this point? Consumer goods are at 70%. That is ridiculous. I think, and my construction speed is at -25%. I think what I'm going to do is I am going to start intelligence upgrades, because right now my construction speed is at -25%. So my civilian factories aren't doing anything anyway. It's going to take forever for them to actually get anywhere. So what I can do, however, is I can use the civilian factories for other things, like, for example, agency upgrades, which means I can do. I'll go through these. So while we are not really having anything else to do, so let's start with commander training, and that's a better use for my civilian factories than the construction here. We're still having a little bit of construction happening, but we will see. We will see what goes. However, we now, so in 15 days, okay, this is going to be a little bit of timing here. I have to really pay attention because I'm busy in the civil war. By the way, which leads me to, I think I am going to start sending my agents not to France anymore, but over here for now. Let's get ourselves, actually no, because I think the north we can handle. Let's get ourselves some intelligence here. And we're going to get another operatives just through the upgrades at some point. So what I can do here in order to recover the economy. Right now economic health is at minus 10% and my debt level is at 105% GDP. If our debt reaches 200%, we are going to default. So that's bad. We have a set of actions that we can take. So that is rather interesting. I think that's about all we can do. We are still on, it's still Cabinet Rödern that's doing this. But we have a set of actions that we can do, and depending on the crisis type, they are more or less effective. So for example, we right now have a liquidity crisis. So we can literally just print money, which will help with the liquidity crisis. So quantitative easing is matter of the day. This will obviously bring us more into debt, but because it matches the current crisis, it actually has an additional benefit. So that said, the turn ends in 15 days. So there might be stuff happening, and I can do I've got recovery and relief cards. So there are a couple of actions I can take, but they all get me further into debt. And I can't reach 200% debt because then things will go south. But I can wait and see if any kind of events happen that will change things. So I don't want to do this right now. I'll probably wait, if I know anything about Hearts of Iron 4, I'll wait until the 15 days are almost over, which means I have to wait until mid-April to trigger these. Just be careful not to forget about it. So I'll frequently have to check back and forth. For now, we are going to actually do that. Get all divisions here. Remove that front line. And launch an assault, concentrated assault, trying to wipe this out. This is unfortunate. This is still in the northern air zone, so we have aerial superiority boni. So that's good. We're still trying to sell off some of our old equipment here. But this should work relatively well. And if the Chinese don't mess up, then we should be able to get these guys wiped out. This is where the mountaineers would have been helpful, but that should clear out the frontier lines in the east. I think the rest has relatively well stabilized, and we can then use the more mobile forces to try to break through the northern lines here and hit their capital and then clear out the north. So hopefully that works reasonably well, and I'm just going to have to keep an eye on this, so I'm just going to leave that open. What is this now? This is the Kenyatta affair. So novel defense. Is it the Chewbacca defense? Finer details, well, based on essay and political theology. Okay, so something Middle Africa. Really, I don't really have any options here to do anything, so I'm just going to leave it be. But I think we now have our first encirclement here, and just keeping an eye on things. while we are moving into the cities. Okay, the legation cities are voting, and the legation cities are still existing, so, and we are still part of it, so we have to vote about this. Black Monday has left deep scars in the global economy, and particularly on the Deutsch-Asiatische Bank in Shanghai. Which seems to have fallen victim to unscrupulous business practices. You don't say. And possibly insider trading. Our delegations are now seeking guidance on how they should vote concerning the proposed bailout of the Deutsch-Asiatische Bank in Shanghai. Interesting. So, two things. Well, first of all, shady business practices in a bank color me surprised. The thing is, we're trying to rescue the economy, and I would say we'll prove it, because really we can't have any more banks failing, because the knock-on effects are even worse than the bailout of the criminals. So we'll do that. I am in favor. I have no idea what's going to happen, but we'll find out. I am in favor for now. And we are getting involved in the assault here. Yes, there's fortifications here. Yes, there are minor land forts here, but I think we can take that. Just have to make sure they don't get... I might actually send one cavalry division south, just to make sure they don't break through here. So we are the Chinese are pushing here as well. And I just want to make sure that they don't reconnect. Oh, they are making inroads in the north now. That is good. That is very good. Famine has broken out in Sichuan. Yeah, it just keeps getting worse. The chaos in the league disrupting food shipments and another lengthy drought. The spectre of famine haunts Sichuan once more. Horrifying stories emerging of mothers selling their children into slavery for scraps of bread, and anarchy gripping even the richest market towns. Yeah, it just keeps getting worse indeed. You can already assist with the attack here. Let's try to bring back some order here, if we can, and clear out the China situation here, while keeping a very close eye not to forget that. Is there anything else? Oh yeah, one thing that I have to do that I completely missed. I need to improve our submarine design. So the Type 7 is a bit of a crappy design because it's got outdated engines, but we can improve that. Actually, you know, one thing I wanted to try, I think if you do this and then add additional torpedo tubes, no, it still changes the title of it. So it's the Type 7A submarine. And we can get one of them. So this gives us sub visibility. This gives us surface visibility. Surface visibility doesn't really help us in a submarine. So Schichauwerke for submarine designer is what we want to go with. And that's 13 naval XP that we can spend to get the Type 7A going. And then we can take our existing navy. What's the refit cost for that? Not as much lower than actually building the darn things, but we can take our existing submarines, potentially. Where are they? Yep, there they are. And we can take Seine Majestät U-Boot, His Majesty submarine. And we can upgrade these to the more potent Type 7As. And yes, we are going to use the Schichauwerke, which is going to be the right one to be using. Yes, go for it. Naval refits, let's do it. Meanwhile, we have 10 days to go, and we are making inroads here in... and we have finished mechanical engineering, which is good. So next up, more research. And we are about to break through there. Okay. 10 more days to go when we need to do the card game. Okay, we should, yeah, they should be getting, yeah, they're getting defense modifiers from the air superiority. We're not actually doing any damage to them, because we're not sending bombers, but this is China. No one's got range anyway here. I could possibly pull the tactical bombers out and try to send those, but I've sent fighters in anticipation that the enemy might send anything, but they haven't. So, we'll live with just having aerial superiority here, and we are trying to. Okay, the Chinese are now deploying along the lines here. Okay, they are pushing north as well. This is good. We are making progress. We've stabilized the lines. We're getting our first encirclements going. 6 days until that goes. And nothing really has happened. So there's another event. Decision timeout. What is timing out in 1 day? Not seeing anything that times out in 1 day. Anyway. Does it tell me? End of turn. Yep, that's the only one. Okay. 6 days. Let's keep an eye on the China situation. I think we're about to break through in the north here. And start clearing out the first three rebellious divisions. Okay, oh dear, what's going on? Okay, this looks important because I know this guy. That's von Schleicher. No majority in the 1936 election. Okay, hang on, what happened? Right. As predicted by quite a few during the campaign, this is important, so I'll read it out. No majority has been found in the Reichstag after the elections of 1936. Oh yeah, we're in April, yes. Majority is impossible without the participation of either SPD or DVLP, two parties on different ends of the political spectrum, either of which would need to dismantle the old consensus and craft a new coalition in the legislature. However, there's no time for the Reichstag to bicker amongst themselves until they finally form a government. With each passing day, the economic situation grows worse and the faith of the people falters further, which is what they wanted. Remember that. When the parliamentarians cannot lead, the duty to make a decision falls to the Kaiser. Yes, Kaiser, go Kaiser. Even after the March Constitution, his role in the formation of governments remains definite, and whether there is no obvious majority in the Reichstag, he has seen fit to appoint compromise choices like Brockdorf or loyalists of the court like Dirksen. Through Crown Prince Wilhelm, the Kaiser was recommended an interesting choice, Kurt von Schleicher, the current Minister of War of Prussia. Ever since Leo von Caprivi's resignation in 1894, Wilhelm II has been reluctant to appoint military candidates to the office, and parliamentarians would hardly wish to see a uniformed man, also not uninformed, but a uniformed man command the empire, either as it brings back memories of Hindenburg and Ludendorff's plotting. I'm going to have to explain a bit the lore here. However, Schleicher offers several valuable qualities. During the past 2 decades, he's nurtured image of a moderate who works well with the Reichstag, has ties and connections across the political spectrum, and is a noted supporter of trade unions, such as the Allgemeine Deutsche Gewerkschaftsbund, earning him the moniker the Red General. At a time when national unity is necessary, all of these qualities are crucial. Finally, he is a close friend of Crown Prince Wilhelm, who is a major influence on his aged father and eventually got him to appoint the new Reichskanzler. Okay, there are a couple of things I probably need to explain here. Hindenburg and Ludendorff were sort of running a military dictatorship towards the end of the World War. And that has left marks on people's ideas. So there has been a lot of reluctance to get a military man into the position of chancellor. Since the March Constitution, the Kaiser can appoint the chancellor, but the parliament can effectively throw out a vote of no confidence. Because, and as such, the Kaiser can technically appoint chancellors until he grows old and dies, and the parliament can just keep kicking them out. So he has to appoint somebody the parliament agrees with. But we're in an interesting situation right now because neither the left nor the right can agree with anything because they effectively caused this whole crisis. So he picks von Schleicher as Reichskanzler because the election effectively ended up in a deadlock and nobody can figure out to get the majority. So what will happen, or what I'm assuming is going to happen? Von Schleicher is an interesting personality because he has He has he's coming from a military background, but he's got connections everywhere. The man is ruthless. He's not necessarily politically colored, but he has no problems getting into making use of fringe personalities. So he's going to be the Reichskanzler, which gives me 2% stability. That removes the March leads to April. Oof, that is good. He will be gives me more political power gain, consumer goods to 10%, division recovery rate, production efficiency cap, and Kabinett Schleicher becomes the ruling party. Elections will take place every 5 years, has been appointed Reichskanzler. It seems unlikely that he can stay for long. Yes, because if any of these two sides can reach 223 seats, which gives them the majority, because we have 445 seats in the Reichstag, so 223 is 50% and 1 seat, then they can literally just no confidence vote him out and take over the government. So I'm going to see what happens here. Anyway, I'm going to end the episode with this because that's a bit of a bombshell. There's still another thing happening happening behind the scenes. I'm going to get to next episode. But for now, this is the Kabinett Schleicher. And that is a fascinating development. And yes, we still have to do this one as well.